For those of you that don't know me, I'm Diane Whitney, and I happen to be president of this organization at this time. And we have one special thing that we would like to do before we get to the Woman of Achievement Awards, and that is to present our own local Woman of the Year Award, which we do every year, select one of our members who has contributed to our organization and we feel is a very outstanding member. And so we will be doing that at this time, and Kara Perkins will be presenting that as she was chairman of this committee. Kara?
We were supposed to do this last month, but we postponed it till this month. This is the Fairfield BPW Woman of the Year Award, and each year one of our women is selected to receive this honor. I'm going to tell you a little bit about the person that was selected this year. It's easy to see why this year's Woman of the Year for the Fairfield BPW organization has been chosen. She is an active woman with many varied activities to fill her days. She's a lifelong resident of Van Buren County, having graduated from Keosauqua High School. She received her college education at Iowa Wesleyan College. She taught for over 40 years in Van Buren County rural schools and in the grade schools at Birmingham and Stockport, and was a dedicated teacher. Our award winner has many outside interests. She's a member of the Town and Country Garden Club, and she's also a district officer of the Garden Club. She's president of the Van Buren Retired School Personnel Club and is district chairwoman for community participation of the retired school personnel, through which she gives many volunteer hours. Another outside interest is in travel agencies. She is an agent for the American Vision Travel out of Burlington and a member of the Passport Club of Fort Madison. She is also an active member of the Congregational Church and a member of the Van Buren County Historical Society. Our winner is also a very loyal and active business and professional women's club member. When the Keosauqua organization returned its charter, she transferred to the Fairfield organization, which she attends regularly and gives freely of her time. She also attends district meetings and is currently serving as finance chairwoman at the District 1 level. And I'm sure most of you now have figured out who our honoree is. So if you would welcome her, our Woman of the Year for 1996 is Vanita Teal. Vanita?
What a surprise. That's unbelievable.
I think she was out of town on a cruise or something last month. You were out of town?
I have been out of town, but I just don't think I'm deserved. How did you find out all these things about me, though?
Well, I must give credit. I had a lot of help, and that thanks goes to Lillian Theta for helping me.
Oh, well, thank you so much. But what an honor.
This is your pen.
Oh, thank you.
Congratulations.
Well, thank you.
So
Thanks a lot, but I really don't think I'm deserving of this.
Your sister-in-law gave me all the information.
Good evening, ladies, and welcome again. Tonight, the Business and Professional Women are honored to host the 6th annual recognition program for outstanding women in various areas. For those of you who are brand new to this, we started this 6 years ago as a way to say thank you, as a way to say congratulations, and as a way to say keep up the good work. And so we started the ballot form of nominations, and what we do is we run a ballot in the Fairfield Ledger. Lillian Theta is kind enough to run a similar ballot in the town crier, and we also have ballots available at our local banks and savings and loans. The ballots are open to anyone who would be an adult or claims that they are adult acts like they're an adult. Maybe they're just chronologically an adult. I don't know. We don't get into that. And they submit ballots with names of women who they consider to be outstanding in the field. Then a group of people, basically the committee, get together and we count the ballots. By counting the ballots, we determine who it is that has the majority vote in that category. We call the lady, we say congratulations, and we ask them to come here to this meeting. And so that is why you're here, to celebrate outstanding work. The committee this evening we'd like to thank would be Vanita Teal. She was busy doing all kinds of things this month. Kara Perkins, Cynthia Pichelle, and myself was on the committee. And so thank you for coming. Last year, I looked at my notes and it said that I gave this speech about the word outstanding. And I read it over and it's like, well, yeah, that's kind of nice. Those are people who are outstanding. But this year I thought, well, I don't want to tell them again what's outstanding because they heard that last year. So I thought, what shall we talk about? And I thought, well, let's look up the word achievement and see what that means. And so I looked in the dictionary at achievement. And it said success derived from effort and hard work. I thought, well, do I buy that? And I thought, yeah, that's okay. Success, that's a good word, and we like to consider women successful. And effort, heaven knows, we know what that word is. And hard work, any of us who are women and in this room probably know what the adjective hard work is. And some of us probably are on the fourth day of work just today that you encounter, right? You get up and you do a day's work, and then you go to your job and you do another day's work, and then you come home and perhaps do another day's work. And so I thought that that definition was appropriate. But then I looked at the list of women and I thought, yeah, but success, hard work, effort, and I thought they really could put something on the end of it. And I thought, what could they put on the end of the definition? And I thought to myself, why don't they add the word and a personal touch? Because really, when you think of somebody who's outstanding, you think of somebody who works hard. You think of somebody who puts in effort. But then to me, I always think of, but they add that personal touch, that piece of them to their job that sets them apart from the other. And I think that that is perhaps true of most of the recipients this evening. Without further ado, I would like to say that the way we do this is we call you up and we congratulate you. We present you with a certificate as well as a wonderful BPW pen saying that you are a guest of ours. And we ask if you would just say a few words about yourself and what you do and where it is you work. And if you want to get philosophical and share with us the philosophy of why you work and how you work, that would be great. And just a few minutes of sharing. Any questions? That's a teachery thing to say, so I'm glad nobody had any questions. They never do in class either. They have a lot of comments, but never questions, you know. High school, they do know everything, never fear. Before I forget, I would also like to thank the BPW members who were charming enough to be hostesses to our guests this evening. And so thank you, Diane Whitney, Dorothy Kistler, Kara Perkins, Mary McPherson, Lillian Theta, Julie Drever, Frankie Beatty, Cynthia Pichelle, and Pat Freeberg, Dorothy Henderson, and Jenna Foster. That was very kind of you to share with the group. All right. I know one person has to be leaving like soon, and so we're going to put her at the top of the list because she has to leave us at 5 minutes to 8, and her name is going to be Candace Badgett. Candace was voted by the community as the outstanding female executive manager, owner, or supervisor, and she happens to be from the Raj. I've known her all of about, what time did dinner start? I guess 40 minutes, and so I would like you to welcome with me, please, Candace Badgett.
Thank you very much.
Would you go ahead and talk a little bit about yourself?
Certainly. As Diane was just explaining, my little louder.
Yes, please.
My
And I'm on front row.
my husband and I are the owners and managers of the Raj, and as I was mentioning at dinner this evening, becoming a professional woman has been something quite unintentional for me. It's something that just kind of happened, and it's really been a very great gift. And that is about 5 years ago, my husband took on this rather ambitious project, and it was quite a big vision of what was to be created just north of town, a preventive health facility, restaurant, and hotel, where we would really be advertising out to the whole country and really to the whole world. We have guests who come. We just had a couple from Germany, and we've had guests from Japan, and as well as all over the country. So it was something that wasn't anything we had really been aspiring to in our life. It's something that came up quite suddenly, and my husband was very enthusiastic and set forward to accomplish this task. And at some point along the way, he said, "Well, why don't you work with me?" And I said, "Well, I can cook for you or I can work with you, but you're going to have to take your choice because it's not going to be both." So he thought for a little while, and then he said, "No, work with me." So that began the whole planning process and the construction process, and I was very happy to be able to have my input, especially when it came to some of the interior designs, and I would have been horrified if all the men had just made those decisions. So little by little, I just got more involved, and then when construction finished and we actually opened, it really became clear that this was a 7-day, 24-hour-a-day kind of job, and that really and truly, we felt it would almost be cruel to ask anybody else to manage this project, and that because it was ours and because it was so dear to us, and really it was almost like our home by the time we got built through building it and decorating it and everything, we just thought it just seemed absolutely logical that now we would run it, although we had no experience whatsoever in the field of hotel management or running a preventive health clinic, although we actually don't run it. We would lease that out to our doctor, but having that involved as part of the whole operation, and a restaurant and all these things. But, you know, little by little, you kind of learn just by doing, and little by little, I just realized that it was really a great gift that had been structured for me. And I had always sort of thought that I had been fortunate in the past to have a situation where I didn't have to work. And now, as a result of this experience at the Raj, given the choice, I would never not work again. And it's absolutely an opportunity to just unfold one's potential in so many different directions. And as you were reading the collect tonight before dinner, it's a very beautiful piece that I was very, very moved by it. And I was thinking as you were reading it that really it's the working opportunity that I have that has given me the opportunity to develop those qualities that were read in that collect tonight before dinner, and that have really kind of forced those issues and really made me confront all those things of what I really want to be and how to be more of those really glorious qualities that were read this evening. So I'm very happy to have been introduced to your organization through this event. I was very inspired by what was read this evening and what is obviously the goal and in the heart of everyone here. And I really look forward to being more involved with you. And I thank you very much for this recognition.
Thank you, Candace. We certainly wish you well in your endeavors at the Raj, and may all your dreams be fruitful and aspire towards that. Our second award this evening is being presented to our outstanding bank financial institution employee. And would you please help me welcome Marilyn Spees.
Well, I'm Marilyn Spees, and I've lived here in Fairfield close to 40 years. And I have 4 children, and my husband is semi-retired and works as a security officer out at Pinkerton, with Pinkerton out of Rockwell. And I work at the Jefferson County Community Credit Union, and I've been there 6 years, coming up in May. And I really enjoy working with people and the clients that come in there, and the girls that I work with are real nice, and I thank you very much for this award.
Thank you, Marilyn. You know, when you think about that, how many of us do banking on a weekly basis? Have some type of transaction with the bank, perhaps some type of deposit, or maybe withdrawal, hopefully deposit, and you think about the trust that we place in them, and it's quite an honor to be chosen outstanding in that area. Our next category this evening is for our outstanding health professional, and I'd like you to welcome with me, please, Ann Buck.
Thank you, Diane. Thank you very much for this recognition. When my husband, Dr. Buck, and I moved to Iowa in 1982, 1983, I started working as a nurse midwife. At that time in this state, there were only approximately 3 nurse midwives in the whole state, and now we have about 15. For certified nurse midwives, we are under the broad category of advanced registered nurse practitioners, which means beyond our nursing education, we have to practice for several years in our chosen field and then go on and get a master's degree. And we now have in this town, not only myself, but Mr. Frank Gorski, who works at Jefferson County Hospital as a nurse anesthetist, and we have 2 physician's assistant, although that is a separate category. As a group, we have worked together in this state to further our advancement and recognition and to show to the public that we are capable of giving primary care. And why this is so important, particularly in a rural area like Iowa, I would like to show you the discrepancy in the numbers here. As you all know, we've been trying very hard to recruit more physicians to Fairfield, and we have not been as successful as we would have liked. Fairfield has approximately 10,000 people. If we include our surrounding counties, it goes up to about 20,000 people. At the Jefferson County medical staff, we have 8 doctors on staff who give primary care. Compare that with Iowa City, that has a population of 60,000. That would be including the students too, which are legion. And for that population, there are 1,400 doctors. So as you can see, the problem here in a rural state like Iowa is not so much that we don't have enough physicians, but it's a maldistribution. And this is where nurse midwives, nurse anesthetists, pediatric nurse practitioners, adult nurse practitioners, psychiatric nurse practitioners, etc. We do serve a purpose here, and I'm pleased to say that Iowa has been very progressive in giving us privileges to be able to practice as we choose. We are now entitled for third-party reimbursement directly. We have prescription writing privileges, including obtaining DEA numbers, so if need be, we can even prescribe narcotics for our patients. This would particularly be true for somebody, as in Mr. Gorski's case, providing anesthesia for patients. So as you can see, we do have a place here in Iowa, and I'm pleased to see that this state is a good state to work in as a certified nurse midwife. I would also like to thank all you women here in town who have shown your trust in me and let me take care of you over the years. I do believe that there's a special quality in women taking care of women, particularly for childbirth, because we all have had children. And for myself to be able to take care of someone giving birth when I've given birth myself, it's a great comfort to the woman giving birth that first time. And although I am taking an extended leave right now from practice while my children are small and I'm homeschooling my son, I will go back eventually one day, and I will look forward to taking care of you all again. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ann. I would have never thought about those statistics, Ann, until you said that. But when you think of that, that really does put Fairfield in a category all by itself. And I don't know that that's a good category either. It sounds like an overwhelming task for the 8 that are here. I don't have a solution, though. I just have to ponder and go, oh my. But that's great. Where did you do your schooling, Ann?
undergraduate at Cal State University in Baltimore and graduate Columbia University, New York City, and internship at University of Southern California.
And do nurse midwives have to keep going, like with recertification and constant schooling, and just like everyone else?
Just like anybody else in the medical field, we have to show proof that we are continuing on with our education.
And can I ask why you personally chose nurse midwifing?
I was an obstetric nurse for 5 years, and I wanted to go on.
Really?
Although I must admit, my first love as a teenager was to become a vet.
Really? So shall we discuss this? Okay, you wanted to be a vet, and now you're a nurse midwife. I don't know if I want to discuss that, but there's certainly similarities there. Wow. That would be nice to have a woman by your side when you're going through the process. But I'm not going to do it again, just so you can have that opportunity, and so forget it. I'm sure there's someone else who wants to take care of that today. We are honored with our next Women's Achievement Award winner. This person is Outstanding Female Office Administrative Support Employee. This person happens to be named Linda Messerly, and could you please help me join her?
Diane said I could only speak for half an hour. I'm Linda Messerly. I've worked at Penn School for probably 17 years as a secretary. I'm in education as a secretary. Education is kind of a Messerly thing. We have 3 children. They are all teachers. I have a daughter-in-law who is a teacher, and it's kind of important to us. I'm really honored that you people have given me this award because I look out and a lot of you I really respect and admire from the years I've lived here in Fairfield. I feel like I have the best job of anybody. I'm around children. I can hug them and kiss them and love them. I love clerical work. And I work with teachers who I think has the most important job in our community. So I thank you.
Thank you, Linda. You know, I am a mother. That's a trait of mine, and Linda happens to be the secretary at the school where my children happen to go. And to me, it's comforting to know that there's a professional on the other side of the phone. And when I have to call and say, you know, would you give Megan this message, or, oh, Monica's crying, what do we need to do about that? You know, that she was there, and I think that's really, really important. And I don't know. I think you may be right. You maybe do have one of the best jobs that there are because you get to work with people in a caring environment, and I think that that's pretty special. Pretty special. And just think you get one more Gowdy later. I don't know if she can face pulling through 3 of them through, but we'll give her a chance to. You know, they say people retire and then they retire and they're done. And then some people say, I'm retired and I'm busier than I've ever been. And some people choose to never, what shall we say, work outside the home, but they choose to volunteer in every type and way. And I don't know that any of us could define one as being more important than the other. So tonight it gives us great comfort to honor someone who is considered to be the outstanding female volunteer, and that is Yulela Conger. Would you please help me welcome her?
I'm Yulela Conger, and we live southeast of Fairfield on a farm, and we have a cow-calf operation, plus my husband hauls lime and fertilizer and things. We have a daughter, Nanette, that is the assistant administrator at the hospital here in Jefferson County. I started, I guess, 23 years ago in Girl Scouts when my daughter went into Girl Scouts. Then about the same time, Lillian Theta called me and asked me if I'd come on the cancer board, and I have been on it ever since. I don't do as much in there as I used to, but I'm on the cancer loan closet now, so if anybody needs a wheelchair or anything, they can get a hold of me and I'll get it for them. Then in '87, they started hospice, and my daughter was one that helped get that started, and she said to me, she said, "Mom, why don't you come and go? Just come to the first meeting." Well, I have been there ever since. But it is a very good organization, and we have very dedicated people. And it's something, we have classes twice a year, once in the spring and once in the fall, and I think if anybody would come take them, they'd really be surprised at what they learn. And you do not have to be a volunteer, but it helps you with your own thing. And we also need people in hospice, and we also need people on the cancer board. Thank you for this award.
Layla, when was it that hospice started here?
In '87.
87?
Oh, yes, and I'm in Girl Scout.
Do you sell cookies, Layla?
I'm the cookie chairman.
You're the cookie chairman. And can we have a count about how many cookies got sold this year?
We sold 1,629 cases. Was what we ordered 30 for the booth sales.
And how many are in a case?
12 boxes.
That's a lot of cookies. That's a lot of cookies.
It is.
So then do you get extra above that you have to try and sell, or does the order come out pretty much
They
right?
have to sell, and that's why we have booth sales. But after they're their cookies, they can sell them anywhere they want to. But they have to take what they order.
That's a lot of cookies.
Yeah.
Oh, man. What?
You should see them.
So when they come, do they come to your house? Do
We
they?
used to have them delivered at my home. We have a big building, but they got an embargo on the road 4 years ago, and the truck couldn't come out.
Oh.
Which he did because they forgot to tell him that we were anyway. But we go to the junior ag grounds to the first building and unload, and it gets pretty full in there.
So do they always have the same cookies year after year after year?
No, they change.
Really?
every so often.
I just always buy chocolate mint wafers. You know, I mean, there's no other kind in my book, but obviously there probably is. Thank you, Layla. Tonight, it's like Old Home Week. It's time to bring back a BPW member who was with us for a lot of years, and a lot of you knew her from first time around, but she's returning this evening in a special category. She is the Outstanding Female Service Provider, and please welcome with me Betty Moulds.
Congratulations, Betty. Thank you. Well, I thank you for this award. I tell you, I about fell over when Diane called me. I thought, you've got the wrong person. I've lived here in Fairfield since 1941. And I've had several jobs since I've been here. First, I was a wife and mother, and I raised the oldest ones until they were in school. And then when they started to school, I thought, oh, what will I do with myself? So I started to work at Martin's drugstore, and I worked there until my youngest one was through college. She graduated from college. And so I was kind of out on my own again, so I thought, well, now what? And so I went to work with my husband, for my husband. He was a chiropractor here, and we worked together in the office. And then when he decided that he was going to retire, I thought, well, here we go again. But he was only retired 1 month. And they came to him from the church and said, would you be willing to work for the church and do calling? And yeah, he said, I would, but he says, it's with the provision that my wife will work with me. And he hadn't asked me that. He just said that was the way he was going to have it. So we talked about it overnight and said, okay, that was fine. So I worked at the church with him until he died, and I thought, well, now here we go again. Now what do I do? But the pastor at the time decided that I should just go ahead and work anyway. And I thought, well, am I supposed to do 2 people's work, or what are they going to do about that? But we resolved that pretty well, and I was to do his work and my work. But they didn't decrease the salary, so I was getting paid for both of us. So I've continued there at the church then, and I'm still there now. But I think the thing that has given me the most satisfaction and love was what evolved from working at the church, and that was calling on the nursing homes. And in the very beginning, I thought that would be the last place I would want to go and minister to people. But it has become a great love in my life now. I have such a close feeling with these people. And we've done quite a few things together in the nursing home. And I go to all three. I go to Parkview, Nelson's, and long-term care in the hospital. And I go once a week. And sometimes during the month we go and take communion to them all. So it turned out to be a real ministry because I learned to really care about people. Some people find it difficult to call on the nursing homes, but I have found it to be a tremendous satisfaction, and the people that I work with they're just very dear to me, and I really care about all of them. Some of them you have to be very understanding with, and I know somebody else that's worked in a nursing home, so I know she knows what I'm speaking about. But this has been my great love, and I'm still at it, and I'm really way past retirement age, but I'm waiting now for the axe to fall and say, now what are you going to do? I'm not sure. I'm not ready to retire, but we'll see what evolves from now on. But I thank you for this because it means a great deal to me to think that I do a service to some of the people in the nursing home, and it's a service, but it's a love, and it's a ministry for me, and I appreciate this very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Betty. How many of you, if you were nursing home age, might have just a little smile on your face when Betty walked through the door? I think that you probably bring joy to a great deal of people, and we thank you for doing that. Our next award goes to the Outstanding Female Professional. This person happens to be a pharmacist, and would you please help me welcome Kathy Sherman.
Thank you, Diane. Hi, I'm Kathy Sherman. I've been a pharmacist at Martin Pharmacy for 23 years. Why pharmacy? My dad was a pharmacist. He loved his job, so I knew early on that's what I wanted to do. How did I end up at Martin Pharmacy? I met my husband at pharmacy school, North Dakota State University. We graduated in 1971. We moved to Ottumwa. He worked at Osco Drug, and I did my interning at Martin Pharmacy. I fell in love with the town and Martin Pharmacy. We got transferred to Keokuk, and I could not wait to come back to Fairfield. So when we got a call from Ed Martin saying, can you come back and help us out, we jumped at the chance, and we've been here ever since. I have twin daughters who will be graduating from college this year, and a son in high school. I love my job. I love the variety of it. It involves problem solving, helping people in many different ways. I get thanked every day by customers, so this is really an extra bonus. Thank you.
I'm pleased to say that I don't have to visit a pharmacy real regular, but it's nice what has happened in the pharmacy, I think, over the last few years. You know how they stop and they tell you so much more than they used to tell you, and I don't know if you're finding that true, and I don't happen to go to Martin's, and not because you don't do a wonderful job, I'm sure you do, but I just happen to go somewhere else. But the sheet that they give you and how they explain it to you, and you don't have to feel dumb and say, what is it or why is it? I think that that's wonderful, and I have a feeling you probably share that information in a very good manner. Appreciate that. We have with us category called non-traditional, and I don't know what you would call a non-traditional thing, but it's the type of career that, you know, when your daughter sits down with you and says, what are you going to be? You know, you might not think of this career the very first thing. These people are unique. They provide a unique service, and so we have a category called Outstanding Female in a Non-Traditional Career. And I'd like you to help welcome Joanne Book.
Thank you. Well, I guess I didn't think about it in that manner, but I'll begin like many of you did. First of all, I am a wife and a mother, live on a farm northwest of here, and after our children were all in school, I worked at Parkview Care Center for 20 years. And yes, Betty, we always welcomed you. I worked there for 20 years, retired in '93, and at that time, I guess I did start something different. I started taking reflexology sessions for myself. I had some residual pain, and this worked marvelous for me. So later I thought, gee, I would love to learn this so I could help my own family. And my family does consist of 6 sons, 2 daughters, and grandchildren and such, and many extended family members. So I did learn the principles of reflexology, and I was using it just with our own family. And then last year, after the Vintage Power Wagon Rally, of which I am a volunteer, a girl said to me, oh, I wish I had someone that would rub my feet. And I said, well, I do foot reflexology. And so gave her a session, and she said, you must let me share. So I have, the word has traveled only by word of mouth, and so I am now doing some reflexology. It's something I really enjoy. Why? Because probably working and helping people, as I did at the nursing home, and was a great love of mine. What is reflexology? Really, we're offering relaxation to reduce stress and tension. And so I've met a lot of new and exciting people. And again, it's just like working at the nursing home, meeting new people and working with them and offering to them each day. Thank you very much.
So Joanne, when you decided to get into reflexology, did you have to have training to do this, or how does...
Sorry, I forgot. I was going to say that. Yes, I started taking attending seminars, I should say, in '93, late in '93, and continue to take seminars. Attend the educational seminars twice a year. It's the Eunice Ingham method.
Mm-hmm.
Eunice began her research in developing this old ancient alternative, and published her first book in 1938, begins teaching sessions in 1943, and like I say, it is an old ancient practice, as it was practiced by the Egyptian culture in 2330 BC.
So basically, people would just call you up and say, could we have an appointment to massage my feet, and then you would go from there?
It is not massage.
Okay.
And it is reflexology. It's like have thumb will travel. It is working with the pinpoint reflexes of the feet, which reflect all the parts and organs of the body, as do, there is hand reflexology.
It's very interesting. Thank you for sharing that, Joanne.
Thank you.
All right, our next category is for someone involved in marketing and sales. And our outstanding female marketing and salesperson is Lindsay Oliver. Please help me welcome her.
And if anybody feels like they're seeing double, my sister was the first one who accepted the award. We look a little bit alike. It's been a really exciting thing for me to be working with Candace and Rogers at the Raj. As Candace said, when they started it, they really had no experience running a hotel, a restaurant, or a health center. And they sort of asked me to jump in with them. I had graduated, I moved to Fairfield 13 years ago, and had gotten my MBA at the university here. And one of the things I had really enjoyed was marketing. And when I graduated, I went out to California and was actually working with an Ayurvedic clinic out there, helping them do PR and publicity. So I had had a little taste of this. But my job is basically to get people to come from all over the country to take their vacation in Iowa. And that has its own challenges, but actually we've been really successful. And we even have people who come from Florida in January. I thought that was good. And we actually have people who come from California and from New York and from Texas. And what people find when they come to Iowa is that it is something very special. That there are values here, there's a way of life, there's a peacefulness that is very quickly disappearing in many other parts of the country. And people recognize that, and it's a wonderful backdrop to their experience of rest and rejuvenation at the Raj. It's been really fun for me to figure out how to get the word out. Talking to magazines, one of our big things is getting articles in different magazines. We've had articles now in Longevity and Yoga Journal and Self and New Woman and Let's Live and Palm Beach Magazine, of all places. And plus the Des Moines Register did a wonderful article on us, St. Louis Post-Dispatch, and many other different smaller newspapers around the country. So that continues to be very successful. And then also just being able to, I make a point, a number of times during the week I will have meals or spend time dinners with our guests. And just getting to know who's coming here and what they're looking for and why it is, what's making them happy. And really talking to them and then trying to understand, okay, how do you target that person? And how do you find other people with those desires? And it's really been quite an interesting experience. We've met wonderful, wonderful people and have formed very deep friendships. And we're now shifting, actually. Our first focus was just getting the word out and getting people to come. And now we're shifting to something that's called one-on-one marketing. And that's taking the people that you have and developing your relationship with them and asking them to help you get referrals and really taking care of them on a level like sending them reminders and calling them up and finding how they are and do they need more herbs or, has this problem, how's it doing and is it getting better? And personally taking care of those people and taking responsibility for them. So this is a new phase and it's an exciting one. And anyway, I just want to thank you very much for this, and it's very nice meeting all of you. It's been a very special evening. And also I wanted to invite you all to come out sometime to the Raj. I would love to give you a tour. Just ask for me at the front desk. I'll give you a guided tour. We have a beautiful restaurant, and we're open to the public Sunday through Friday. We're closed for lunch on Saturday, and we're not open for dinner. So come out, and I'd love to show you around. It's really a beautiful place.
Thank you, Lindsay. I'm sure there's many of us in the room who have not had the opportunity to come out and visit the Raj. Just for practical purposes, the hours for, say, lunch
Oh,
or?
for lunch it's 12 till 2. And we prefer reservations only because all the food is freshly made every day. So we might not make enough if we don't know that people are coming, but it's not necessary.
So you don't want all 30 of us to just hop
Oh, yes,
in and just show us impromptu or? Okay.
I would love to have all three.
And I know during dinner we were talking about that you had special international type days. Do you want to talk about those at all?
Yeah, we have a buffet lunch, and every day is a different, it's sort of one theme. So Monday is Chinese, and Tuesday is Middle Eastern, which is falafels and spanakopita, spinach pie. And then Wednesday is Mexican, Thursday is Indian, and Friday is Italian. And then Sunday is just a general brunch.
Very good. Very good. Okay. I'd like to turn the portion of the meeting over to Kara Perkins at this time. And
Well, the reason I get to do this award is because the person that receives it is a very special person. And she was a member of the committee, and she said, well, maybe I shouldn't accept this award. And I said, well, if you got the votes, you deserve to win. I said, that's how it goes. I mean, it's a ballot, and people wanted you to have this honor. So very pleased to announce, the outstanding category for the school. Can't even find it on the sheet.
School employee.
The outstanding school employee, and the recipient is Diane Gowdy. Congratulations.
thank you.
And she just does such a wonderful job. And she said, well, why don't you help me do some of these? And I said, oh, Diane, you know the right thing to say. And but she does. She has a very gift for gab when she's up here and makes everybody feel
I beg your pardon.
so comfortable. And I know she does an outstanding job as a teacher. She does teach at the high school, and I will let her tell you a little bit about it.
Okay, thank you so much.
Congratulations.
This is really embarrassing. And I said to my husband, I said, how do you give a speech about what is outstanding achievement, and then how do you get up there and go, thank you very much, without it sounding like that? And he said, well, honey, they're not even going to think that. But I did not vote for myself. I did not stack the ballot box. I did not pay people to vote. And so I will just accept this humbly. School is real important to me. School has always been real important to me. I was one of those kids that, you probably call them now brown nosers. I always liked school. From the time I started, school was wonderful, and I had some great teachers, and I had a natural desire to want to learn how things worked and what happened, and it just kind of evolved. And then I went through college, and I was never going to be a teacher. I was never, ever, ever going to be a teacher. And I am a business person. I am a marketing person and a management person and a computer person. But I also was broke in college, and so it was like, okay, you've got to pay bills somehow. And so it was like, how are we going to do this? And it was my responsibility to send myself through school. So I thought, voila, I'll go to work in an office, and I'll go for a 1-year secretarial program, and this is what, is going to shake out. So it's like, I went to school, and it was like, but I love this. I want to go back and get more. And so I went back for my 2-year, and then it was like, well, I'd like to kind of finish up, but how do I do this? And so I went to work for the college in an office. I worked for the director of student teaching at Wayne State College in Wayne, Nebraska. And so I was around teachers all the time because that's who came into my office. And so we got all those through, and I kept going on, with my business degree, and I got it, and I graduated. And I still remember it was a week before I graduated from college, and my boss, who was the director of student teaching, said to me, now, Diane, are you sure you don't want to teach? You've been around teachers all this time. And I said, no, that's really not me. I said, I've always found it hard to explain things to other people. I can do it myself, but I can't explain it. And he said, I don't think that's really true. I think you can explain it, and this is what it would take, and you'd have to take these courses, and then you'd have to student teach, and then you'd have to do this and this and this. But it's like, it's graduation next week, you know? And he says, yeah, I know, but he said, probably on the road of life, once you get out, you're going to get busy, and then you're going to maybe get married, and then you're going to have kids, and then you're going to have jobs, and financially you're going to have more responsibility. So now's the time. You know, so it was like, well, Mom and Dad, you know, I thought I'd graduate, but then I thought I'd go back, you know, and it's like, well, Dad, make up your mind. And it's like, well, I'm going to teach business. It's not like I'm going to teach something totally different than I am, but teach business. And so I did go back after I graduated from college and took all the teaching classes and student taught in 3 different schools and did all this stuff. But to this day, you know, I feel split because I do feel I'm a business person because that's what my training is in. And we talked about marketing today, you know, and we talked about Betty Crocker and has she evolved over time or has she stayed the same? You know, and there's a lot of interesting things going on with marketing. But I do feel education's really important, and it's an honor that I've gotten the opportunity to teach, you know, the sons and daughters of some of you, and some of you perhaps your grandchildren. And you know, when people say, where do you teach? And I say the high school, and then they go, high school, you know, how can you stand them? You know, they're teenagers, and I just don't find that that's true for me. I really do enjoy most of them most of the time. And there's a few, some of the time, that I don't. But, you know, we try to evolve over time to make it happen. So I thank you for this honor, and I do work very hard, I think, at what I do, and I hope that I can make a difference in some people's lives. So this concludes basically this portion of the meeting. If you're thinking about this in the future, I hope to say that there will be the 7th annual awards, and you might think about over the next 12 months the people that you come in contact with, and think about who really does do an outstanding job and who really does do the hard work and the effort, but also who takes the time to do that personal touch. How many of you have ever felt like a number, like I'm just one more person going through this line, or one more person buying this, or just one more person going to go visit the doctor, and here I am, I'm the 410, I'm no different than anyone else. And I don't think that makes us feel very good. So if we take the time to make the difference, I think that's wonderful. Would you please turn the meeting back over to Diane Whitney, and thank you for this opportunity.
How many years have you taught?
How many years have I taught? On and off, mostly on, for 17 years. I take extended maternity leaves of 9 months, and I would do all of those again, but otherwise I've been there. Okay.
Let's not forget that we have a pen for each of these.
I'm sorry, it was just getting nervous. Trying to get everything nailed here. Thank you.
Nice to have all of you, and Diane was the one that started this Woman of Achievement idea when she, you know, was the, I believe you were the membership chairman at that particular time, and came up with this idea, and we all thought that it was a neat idea, and it has really become a wonderful tradition, I think, for us, and it's so nice for people in the community to have a chance to recognize people that they feel really do an outstanding job and maybe don't get that extra little pat on the back as often as they deserve. So it is really nice to be able to say thank you for all that you do for everyone that you come in contact with, and it is really nice. At this time, we are ready for our business meeting, and we would invite you to stay for our business meeting, but we realize that you are busy ladies as well, and if you would like to have the opportunity to say, gotta go, we understand, because we appreciate taking your evening to be with us at this time. Oh, yes. And we also would like to thank Susan for taping this evening, and it will be aired on Channel 9, FPAC TV sometime during the week, I believe, and then a couple of other times as well. So I think that's very nice that they do that, and give a chance then for the entire community to see who was recognized this evening and not just our organization here. So thank you very much for being here with us this evening.